Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Visions of War. Today, we're going to be using a little team that I put together. It punches up quite nicely on Astral. If you see Astral on defense, even if you see those pesky Astral CGRs, or the Astral with Red Hulk. And the reason why is Mephisto. Mephisto outspeeds them all and does what you need to do. So we're going to get right into this attack, and we're going to go through how to beat it with this team. You can do pretty good punch-ups with it. It's pretty consistent the way it goes. There is a little switch in there sometimes where Emma will go, and if she ability blocks Namor, it can be a little bit of a difficult fight. But if you don't have that happen, if you can get to Emma fast enough, if you get those slows on her fast enough, then it's a pretty easy match. So we want to have Striker on Mephisto for this. And the reason why is right here. We're going to basic into Shadow King. He's going to drop his health dramatically. And then we're going to go ahead and so since he does, he will chain to an adjacent person. We're just going to go ahead and hit Strange here because he's on just the outside of Shadow King. If the Shadow King is on the outside, you don't want to do this. But I know it's going to chain to him, so I'm going to basic here. It's going to hit Shadow King a little bit more to do some more damage, and it's also going to drop him dramatically. So with this attack, I'm going to go ahead and target Shadow King with this. I do have Raider on my Iron Patriot. It's just to put more vulnerables up because we're going to get assists anyways from the team. We don't have to worry about the triple taps. And now, since you saw I went before Emma went, so we're going to rewind with Namor. This is the ult for Namor, however you want to say his name. So we're going to rewind them. They all reduce their speed bar by 50%. Now we're going to go in the middle of a clump because Kang hits adjacently as well as the target. We got Raider on Kang as well. You can have Striker on him with this setup. I still have Raider for the bigger damage, and you're going to see that right here. Just does huge damage to both the target and the ones beside him. Then we're going to go back to Emma because Emma's the one I'm worried about more than anything on this team. She can take a team out just by herself. Very strong character, so get rid of her. I don't have to worry about Strange because there's no revives with Mephisto there. Although I did fight in a war last night where Strange went, he did his ult, and he brought back two Emmas. Yes, you got that right. Two Emmas. There was only one on the board to begin with, so how we got two, I have no idea. But you see Mephisto just melts the team into the ground. Super easy war to do, and we're going to go over the kits and why that happens. So we'll go ahead and start just left to right. We got Kang here. So Kang, bring up to 105 is fine. You can use him in all the DDs. You can use him in Professor X. He's a great tune. He's cosmic. He's tech, so there's not a lot of tech characters that we use right now. He's a villain. So I really like Kang. If we're gonna go the importance of T4s, you're probably gonna want to do his passive first. When an enemy gains speed up, you're gonna speed him up. So that's a super important thing to have for him. I like doing his special just because it's gonna clear the barrier on the primary and adjacent, and then it's doing huge damage. Or you could do his ult if you want to do his ult before. It does the same thing, clears the barrier, but it also does death proof, and it's all for all enemies. And then his AoE is huge. You didn't get to see it there because the battle lasted not that long. But on bigger punch-ups, he does use his ult, and he just obliterates the field. It's awesome. If you wanted to do his basic, you can as well, because it does put Disrupted on the most injured enemy. But you don't need it. And if you're using him as striker, this is probably a good one to have. Like I said, on that team, you can have him as striker, and he does fine. But if you're using APOC instead of Mephisto, you want to have him as Raider. That's a big must there because of the extra vulnerable he's putting down on Shadow King. It's just a different strat. With this Mephisto one, though, you can throw striker on him, and it's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's Kang in a nutshell. Like I said, I haven't Raider, but you can do Striker as well, whatever your preference is there. I like the crit damage to go, and I like the vulnerables to be put up. For later on, when I use that Mephisto ult, I can target somebody with vulnerable that way and double tap on them. Yeah, it just makes that much cleaner. So next is Iron Patriot. You want to do his passive, okay? You want to do his passive. So his passive has some really cool stuff. It's what puts down the vulnerables right at the beginning of the attack. So on spawn, you're gonna put a vulnerables on all enemies, and that actually happens with the level 4, right? And then the level 5, that's right, that's for Crucible. So you don't need it. You don't need the passive T4 because it's Crucible. But in Crucible, they are awesome. And then probably the special you'd want to do, and it's just clearing the positive effects if they don't have Safeguard, of course. This is a team that doesn't do much against Safeguard, but it doesn't really matter with the damage and speed that they get because of the Raider being on people, and we'll go over why that's happening later on. But yeah, it clears positive effects, and then his ult is going to stun, and it puts more vulnerables down. And they're just about putting vulnerables. They don't care about their ISO. So you could do Raider. I've seen people put strikers on them before. I really like Raider on Iron Patriot, just again for that crit damage, and we'll get into why that's important here in just a little bit. And then you got Mephisto. You could do them all. I mean, you could do them all. The basic is probably the least amount one to do, and it's just because you're going to be chaining to 2 instead of chaining to the 1. But it doesn't really matter. Like all of his abilities are great. If you look at his empowered, wait, we're right there. If you want to look at his empowered does some cool stuff with this too. So you're gonna do another 50%, right, of the max health with the basic. It doesn't really need to happen, but you know what? You could do it. Okay, just to prove to you could do it. You could do it. There's nothing on him not to do. You can do all of them. They're absolutely awesome. You can bring him up all the way to 105. You can gear 20 of them. That's fine. And if as far as ISOs, I would have Striker or Raider be the top 2 that you have with him. Striker for this team and some Raiders for some other team comps that you put him with. But yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's a great character. The only thing he's not really used anymore in is Arena. Everything else he's used in. So, anyways, next is Leader. Okay, so Leader is important for this team. He's helping with the assists. His passive is very important. So on spawn, he's going to put a Safeguard on Cabal, right? And until he takes a turn, barrier. You're going to self-barrier him and the villains that he has. Not just Cabal, villains. So Kang, Mephisto are also villains, right? So that's going to be very important for putting those on. And then also with this team, when he's charged, he's going to do, all these fun things, right? So he's going to gain charge. He's going to have different classes, get, Safeguard, all those stuff. When they drop below 50%, he's going to do Disrupted, Flipped, and make him Stealth. That's only for Cabal, which they're going to be the weaker ones of that. I mean, Kang does kind of get one shot here and there if Emma goes at him, because he is kind of a glass cannon. But the other 3, or the 3 Cabal, are super strong, right? So super strong. So it's okay. And you got some Crucible stuff. You got some charge stuff, right? You got all these fun things. So yeah, they're good in Crucible. They're good in War. They're a great team to bring up, right? You're going to clear Revive with his T4 on his ult, which is important later on if you're fighting against teams that do have revives. With this one, they don't have revives, so you need to worry about it. But just the barrier that he's giving the whole team as he's going through, and because he's doing assists and stuff like that with the team, it's very important. He's going to call 2 villains in on a special to attack when he attacks here. So this is another good one to have a T4 on. If I was going to do rankings, I would say passive and special. Then worry about ult, and don't really worry about the basic, even though it calls an extra assist in. Right? Gain assist from a random Cabal or Gamma on his basic. If you need that, go for it. Like if you're really punching up, maybe that's fine. Because what it's going to do is I have Striker on Leader, so he's going to get that 3rd hit. So like for this one, he's going to call 2 people, and then he's going to hit again, right? So it's going to go him, bam, bam, which could be Mephisto and Namor, right? And then him again, so you're going to get 4 attacks. And then if you do it with his basic, he's going to call assist. You're going to get 3 attacks there. So having both of those T4 is fine. I mean, it's not going to make them worse, right? It's not going to make them worse. So here's Namor. Okay, Namor, super valuable on this team. All right, and there's a lot of reasons why. On spawn, he gets offense up for him and the Cabal, right? On self or villain ally crit, you're gonna get barrier self and all villain allies. So that means Mephisto and Kang also are getting barrier, right? And you're applying speed up to self and all Cabal. So this is why we have Raider on so many people, right? Is for the crit. And this reason why I want Kang to be Raider for his crits. Reason why I want Iron Patriot because he's AoE. So every one of those crits that you do, you're going to get speed up to self and all Cabal allies, right? So it's going to make those three just go, right? Just go so fast. And we don't need to worry about Crucible. And then you want the T4 on his ult. And the reason why is it's going to flip all positive effects on each target and reduce the speed bar by 50%. That's the huge part of that because it makes Emma, Ancient One, Moondragon, and Doctor Strange, which are the 4 you're going to have left, just their turn so you can just go through and yeet them some more. And then you can do this one. It just does more damage. It is unavoidable, I believe. No, it's not unavoidable. It just seems to always hit. It just seems to always hit. It's going to bonus attack 2 times too, so you're hitting 3 times. And remember, if you have him as a Raider, it's going to do those hits each time, so it's more crits, so that's more chance of getting speed up, more chance of them going brr, right? So yeah, so that's the team: Cabal, Mephisto, Kang. Super easy to use, very user friendly, I should say, and does what it needs to do. You can also like hit Cursed with it. You can hit X-Men team and stuff like that with it. Night Stalkers even go bye-bye with it. Like, there's a lot of teams you can attack with it. Very fun, very easy team. I need to get some more red stars on my Mephisto. I didn't pass it the second time. This is my account that I just have fun with, and I just upgrade people as I need to, and just hit auto usually in DD. So if you got more stars on Mephisto, of course he's going to do more damage. But you see, I didn't need it, right? I didn't need it. It did what it needed to do. As far as upgrading these guys, Cabal is needed to get, I believe it's Shadow King or OML, one of the two. So you want to have them upgraded a little bit. And Crucible, they're awesome if you play Crucible. I like using them with Kang and Crucible just to hit auto. I usually have Zemo in the 5th spot when I have it in Crucible, but you can have Mephisto there as well. Just because Zemo is also an enemy and I use Mephisto elsewhere. Yeah, I would say these 3 are definitely upgrades. Kang, I would think, is an upgrade, and Mephisto is too. So if you're going to be using these tunes and if you're going to be putting resources into them, why not put them on a team that you're going to use in war, right? And so that's kind of where I go with my builds. I don't like to build teams and tunes that I'm not going to use everywhere in war. I want all the tunes that I use in war to be somebody I'm going to use in other places. So I'm using these in Crucible. I'm using them in war. And I'm using them in Dark Dimensions when I go up. I used Leader in my main account to get Professor X. Made that node super easy. If you're going with the global villains, right, which he's a global villain, and you're giving all villains barrier, I mean, that's what he does, right? That's what his ult does, is he gives a barrier, right? It's for all the villains. Gain 3 evade, apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all villains, right? That's all villains on your team. And then does all this stuff for the villains, right? Villains, max health, villains, like this stuff, block chance for self and all villains. And so, like, you know, those types of things are nice to have in kits, and he helps out everybody that's a villain because, you know, he's a leader. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. My name's Viz. Tell it like it is. Please like and subscribe. Peace.